Hello everybody, today I will be giving you tips and tricks that you can use in order to make much stronger Umas for Unity Cup. By now, you should have played some careers in the Unity Cup scenario, and you will realize that this scenario is very snowball heavy, where one streak of good events could make your Uba very strong. If you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing. It will help with the channel's growth, as I'm trying to reach 2,500 subscribers before the end of the year. Anyways, back to the video. For the first tip that I could give you is the usage of scenario link cards in Unity Cup. The reason that you would want to do this is to reduce your initial party size. Reducing your initial party size would mean that your required stats overall for upgrading your team rank is going to be much less. So that means if you do the exact same training as somebody with a full team of 10 characters instead of 8 in this example, you would have much easier time upgrading your team rank, which means that you will get higher training facility levels compared to somebody bringing 10 cards, which of course is going to be very strong since you would increase the raw stats that you would get by a very good margin. And of course you promote your team rank, which means that you will get +5 stats each time that you do it, starting from G rank all the way to the S rank. Speaking of S rank, once you reach the S rank level, you will get a gold version of Ramp Up, which is going to be It's On, as a bonus for rank S. As for the second tip, don't invest in irrelevant sparks. What am I talking about? Let's say, for example, Sheppy is meeting 7, where we are going to have a medium track, okay? Mihano Bourbon has medium A already achieved on her. So for example, if we used it as single mile spark, even though if the grandparent is very good, it is not going to be good in this scenario. The reason being of Unity Cup Spirit Explosions. When you do a Spirit Explosion with an Uma, they give you a random skill based on your A attribute. The image on the right is a very good example of this, where Silence Suzuka would give Mihano Bourbon Steadfast, even though Silence Suzuka herself does not actually have Steadfast, and Steadfast works in medium tracks. So, in general, that means that skills like medium corners, medium straightaways, up tunes that has been recently been buffed, these type of skills will be accessible to you once you do Spirit Explosions, given that your A attribute is medium. And the picture on the left is not a very good example. The reason because Curacao Black gives you Productive Flan, and Productive Flan is not good because it is a mile based track. So it would actually hurt us if we kept increasing the attributes to A, given that we are trying to build for a specific track. As for tip number 3, always bring a PAL card, and ideally it is going to be Rika Kishimoto. The reason is that of course she is your main director, which means that she would have a very likelihood of appearing on every single turn, which is going to be strong. Since she has energy reduction down on training effectiveness, that means that over the course of the career you will get higher stats. And considering the fact that she actually also shows up in summer, where your training levels are level 5, it is going to be very strong. And using this as an example, where you can clearly see that we are consuming very high amounts of energy, if we bring Riko Kishimoto and she appeared on this turn, we could save ourselves a lot of extra energy, which would result in us getting much higher stats. The reason is that we are not resting as often because we are saving energy using Riko Kishimoto. And her date events, all of them have mood ups. So if you got a mood down and your energy is like at half, you could go on a date with Riko Kishimoto, and replenish your energy and also get your mood back. And on the 11th, she would actually get a very substantial buff, giving her extra stats at the end of the career. And of course, the R version of Riko Kishimoto is going to have her 5th date, which means that MLB R Riko is going to be on the similar level to 1LB SSR Riko. Lastly, she is going to be much stronger in Unity Cup because some of her events are going to be a scenario link, which of course would increase the amount of stats that you would get. Here as an example, this is one Limit Break SSR Rico, and as you can see, we get slightly more stamina and guts compared to usual because we are using her in the scenario link. Tip number 4 is always play it safe on the first race. The reason is that if you fail the first race, you might as well quit the run, because you would lose on so many stats, and especially since winning the team race actually gives you a very high amount of stats for your entire team, which means that your training facility levels would increase. So if you fail the first race, you are not going to get these bonuses, so you want to quit the run. However, if you see at least 3 double circles in here as shown from the prediction, then if you want to be slightly risky, then play it. However, if it doesn't show any 3 double circles at all, no matter if it is going to be circle and 2 double circles, then I wouldn't recommend it, and instead pick the middle team, as in general it would be much safer. And of course, you can't use alarm clocks if you fail the race. And lastly is to trigger the spirit explosions in good trainings only. While yes, guts is a good stat, it is still not as important compared to speed, stamina, power, and wit in general. So the picture on the left is not going to be a good representation because you are going to train your guts stat. And if you choose instead to trade, let's say your wit, your cards would eventually go to other stats like speed, stamina, power, or wit, and those will be generally more useful. And the picture on the right is going to be a very good example because you are going to trigger multiple different spirit explosions in speed, which of course is the most important stat. However, keep in mind that the purple flame icon is not actually going to be all global. This picture is taken from the updated version of Unity Cup, which is only in the Japanese version. And of course, friendship trading is still going to be better than Unity spirit trading. For example, you have 5 people in, let's say, power trading, and you have one character in wet trying to spirit train, then just pick the power trading, since friendship trading is still more important. Here is an extra bonus tip. Always make sure to check your wit trading before resting, because you never know when there is good trading in wit and you could be potentially missing out on. For example, this is a very good turn because we are going to increase Naruto Brian's bond to potentially orange, and we are going to get Makaeri Fukitaru's wet trading, which means that we will recover slightly more energy. And of course, both Teki Shuttle and Naruto Brian will build up their spirit bar, which would cause them to be able to spirit explode on the turn after. And that is going to be it. If you found this video to be helpful, then consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.